Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today it's time for me to do another VR. I watched a lot of VRs to this and I loved watching them. I think it is um, a fun thing to do, and it was really fun to watch all of these VRs. So I'm doing it. I know I am late to the party as always, I guess, with all of my VRs I did. Um, or at least with the last ones that I did. But better late than never. And unfortunately, my life is totally chaotic at the moment. There's always something coming in at the last moment which I haven't reckoned with and I need to take care about. So the videos that I have planned on filming on this day, n- um, yeah, I couldn't because of that. And then I need to make space and film it on the other day and all of that stuff. So it's really stressful and chaotic, and that's why I'm always late to the party in the last 3 hours at least, because first of all, I need the time to film these and to make my responses and to think about these. Second of all, I need the time to watch all of those videos, which I'm also late on. I have a lot of videos in my watch later list because it's just a mess right now. All right. As you probably have guessed already, well, it also is in the title of this video, but as you can see with my little crystal decor, it is the VR to the hashtag rainbowdecks by Meadowlark Mystics originally. I will have a link to her video, to the original one which started this all, in the video description down below, so you can watch hers if you haven't seen it yet. And there are a lot of other gorgeous videos out there. Um, I'm probably the last one to do this or to do a response, but that's fine. All right, so the thing behind this tag is that you go through your tarot or collection, or tarot and oracle deck collection, and pick the decks that resonate for you with the color of the rainbows. So one for red, one for orange, one for yellow, and that could be because of different reasons. Maybe there's a lot of that color in the deck, or it's just the packaging or the bagging of the cards, or it just feels to you like the color red or the color green. So, enough rambling. Let's start with the color red. And for me, red was one of the easiest colors. Red and blue were the first ones that I got right off the bat. Red for me was the Marielle right off the bat. Um, I really didn't need time to think about that. It just feels red to me because red is a color of power, of authority, um, of fire, of transformation, of really, yeah, a really powerful color. And a really active color, and a color of authority and um, of power in that sense. Besides, there is a lot of red in this deck. Well, actually, a lot of oranges as well. Um, but there is a lot of red. If you really look at the cards, there are these obvious ones which are basically red, but there are a lot of red details in the other ones as well, like here, or the red horse. And the red tones that she used in this are really striking and powerful. They are really bold and bright and in your face, so it's really like they pop up. and you can't ignore them. So that's another reason for that. But the Marielle also feels like a very powerful deck, a very transformative deck, and a very authoritative deck. It really feels like the queen or the king, the leader of all of my tarot decks. It feels huge, it feels powerful. Um, yeah, and it sits on top of all of the decks in its own space because of that. Like even here, this card doesn't feel really red, but there are all those red details in there as well. Here you have red. So that's why I chose the Mary L for me, because of those red tones that you use throughout the cards that are really these bam in your face like of reds that you can't ignore. And because of that feeling that the Mary L gives to me, a really powerful, transformative, um, authoritative, big, huge deck. I hope this makes sense. For orange, orange was a really difficult one. Um, and I really went to, there didn't came a deck to my mind when I thought about the color orange, and I really went through all of my decks and looked at them again, looked at what colors are in there a lot, looked at what energy I'm getting, or if there's anything that resonates for me, to say that this deck is orange, or with another one was green, which I had some difficulties, and yellow as well. Blue and purple were easy, but orange, yellow, and green not so much. So I really sat down and looked through them, and there were some surprises. For orange, I finally decided to go with the Cesarabido Tarot by Stasia Burrington. There's not any orange on the back of the cards or on the box, but there are actually some orange tones in a lot of these cards. And orange more in terms of not those bright oranges like with the carnelian here, but more of like these terracotta, warm oranges like here. Um, which are in here, which make this deck a really comfortable, warm, um, homey kind of deck to me. So here we have a lot of orange in the backgrounds, the flowers are orange. It is a really warm deck. Here we have some oranges in the backs. Here we have also some oranges in the flowers. Orange background, and you can see what I mean. It's not that bright bam in your face like orange like this is. It's a really warm, soft kind of orange, which really at least it has that it has that feeling to me of like being at home, being comfortable, being cozy, and it has a calming effect to me as well. Here the orange in the hair, orange in fire, also here a little bit. Here we have some orange. A lot of them are oranges mixed in with yellows, but all of these softer yellows, smoother yellows, um, in the background of the images. Yeah, so that's what I went with in terms of orange. And I never really recognized this, that there is so much orange and yellow in this deck, actually, which is quite interesting to see. with the decks that don't come really first to mind when you think about the color, and then you look through them and you see, oh, there is actually a lot of orange or yellow or green, and I haven't even recognized that before, especially with the deck that came out for me as the green deck. That was a really surprise to me. I wouldn't even consider that deck in the rainbow decks at all, but there is a lot of green in that. So now for yellow, I went with the Circo Tarot by Marisa de la Peña. And the Circo Tarot is a rainbow deck in itself. It has a lot of color in it, a lot of different colors in each of the cards. It is a very colorful deck. It uses a lot of bright colors as well. And a lot of interesting hair and skin colors as well. But there are a lot of yellow tones and a lot of bright yellow tones, especially in the backgrounds, as you can see in these two cards. And with this deck, I don't find that as disturbing or distracting as I found the yellow tones at the beginning of my journey in the Rider-Waite-Smith. Now I really love the Rider-Waite-Smith. But at the beginning, those yellows, it is a problem that a lot of people talked about already. With this deck, I hadn't that problem. I don't know why. Even though there is a lot of yellows, as you can see in this deck, and it is really a bright in your face kind of yellow. And even in the ones that are primarily not yellow, there are some yellow dresses like this, yellow sunflowers and the sun, yellow mountains. Here some smoother yellows, some yellows right here. So yeah, but I think yellow also works for the Circle Tarot. It is a really bright deck. It is a really unique and authentic deck. It doesn't shy away of being its own thing. And yellow is like the solar plexus chakra when we look at this in that way, which is about being authentic, finding your own self, expressing yourself outwards. And finding your own power. So I really think that fits quite well. So that was my yellow choice. So now for green, and that was the biggest surprise for me. Green was another color that I really had to sit and go through my decks and look at what comes up in terms of which deck uses green a lot. And there weren't a lot of decks that really, at least in my collection, that really used a lot of green until I came up with, and I really love that because I think green really fits for this deck as well and works for it. But it was really surprising. And that is the Dark Mansions Tarot by Tarot Taker Studio with artwork by Magdalena Kaxan. I'm sure I slaughtered this name. But actually, there is a lot of green in here, and I haven't even recognized that before at all. This was really not as colorful deck for me, really dark deck, not in the sense of it is dark in its energy, and it is not necessarily black or white or whatever, but the colors are not as bright in here, but you can see how many greens are in here. A lot of greens right here, a lot of greens in the background, but they're toned down, so maybe that's why I haven't recognized that before. A lot of green right here, a lot of green right here, even in the dress of the character, green in the landscapes, a lot of green going on here in the background in her dress. A lot of green here also, especially in the Pentacle suit. There is a lot of green, but also in some other cards. Here, a green in there. in their dresses, green in the judgment of like the background. Some is really a more darker green, or even in the black tones, there's a hint of green in there as well. Green in the background of justice. Then there are these sky colors where they're not really blue. There is a hint of green in there mixed in as well. A little bit of green in here and more of this muddy green on his dress. There are more of this grayish green skies and green landscapes. So it really surprised me because I haven't considered this deck a really colorful deck, even though it has color. Of course, it isn't a black and white deck. But I don't know. It really surprised me, and I really got to know this deck um, a little bit better and got another perspective on it as well. So that is my green deck. For blue, this was a no-brainer for me as well. And I really love this deck. It's the Prisma Visions Tarot by James R. Eads. And I mean, that is really obvious because the box is dark blue, the backs are in these blue colors, and actually a lot of the backgrounds are in this dark blue. Here you have a lot of blue. So, and there is a lot of water in there as well. Especially in the majors, you have the blue borders. In the swords, in the snowy landscapes, you have a lot of blue skies, dark blue in here as well. Even the snow has a little bit of hint of blue in there. This is also, even the grass is more on the bluish side of things, because this is just the color theme of this deck. So it really was a no-brainer for me. And it really fits with this deck as well. The blue tones, because of its art style, all those swirliness, that flow, that reminds me of the flow of emotions, of water. There is a lot of water in here as well, not just in the cup suit, but also, for instance, in the Fool, we have water instead of a cliff. In the Hangman, we have water. So it really fits for me in terms of the emotional realm of that water energy, and also of this cosmic star night blue sky energy that I get from this deck as well. So that was my blue choice, and the last choice is for purple. And purple was easy as well, and it's also pretty obvious. It's another deck that I really love, and it's the Shadowscapes. And you have a lot of purple on the box, you have these gorgeous purple backings, and you have a lot of purple in her artwork as well. As you can see, and these cards are just beautiful, and purple fits with this deck and its energy as well, because it is a mixture for me of air energy and of spirit energy. And that is that intuition, that connection to spirit, that higher knowledge, that wisdom, that trust in your gut. And even in these cards where it's not so obvious, there are hints of purple almost in every card. Here, also in the combination with these oranges, you have some. Here are hints of purple in the background. There is purple in here. So, yeah, there is a lot of purple, but it's not just that it's At least for me, it's not like it's going on your nerves. It really fits and it really feels very harmonious. So that was my purple choice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope, yeah, you got something out from it. And yeah, let me know down in the comments what are your thoughts, what are your rainbow decks. If you did a response to the hashtag, let me know. Or if you don't, just feel free to write it in the comments what your rainbow decks are, what decks come to mind when you think about the different colors. Do you agree with my choices? What do you think about my choices and all of that? Ideas and energies that I'm getting from these decks. Had you or do you have the same experiences with these decks? Do you feel the same energy of these decks as I do, as I described here? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Also, feel free to um, give me some feedback in terms of, did you like what you see here? Do you like my channel? Do you like this video? Do you like the content? If you have recommendations or things that you want to see on this channel, maybe other VRs that I should do, or topics that I should talk about, anything like that. Also, feel free to leave those down in the comments. I'm open for any recommendations, any ideas. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're new here, and so that you don't miss the new content and the videos that are coming up. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And yeah, if you already did, I really appreciate that. And until next time, you guys, bye.